Like, what is your relationship to meditation? How has it helped you? If it has, when did you start meditating? And yeah, what's that journey been like for you?
Yeah. It's quite interesting that you asked my relationship with meditation. Meditating is me connecting to myself. So my relationship with meditation is self-care. I don't know how else to put it. It's self-care, it's self-love. It's me time for me. So it's very personal, that relationship. My meditation time is for me. How did it start? So this was 4 years ago. I think I just went through, so just a bit of a background. Right, so before this, I'm very open about this in my channel and my social media, and you know this as well, that I had gone through like depression, anxiety at that time. And when I was 19, worst year of my life. Social media, it looked like I was living the best life, and everyone was saying, you're in London, you're in uni, you're partying, like you're living the life. It was not the case. And it was so bad that I was very like suicidal, and I think I would wake up every single day. I wouldn't even know if I would have the strength to make it till the end of the day. I didn't know. Like I was literally struggling so much. And when I turned 20, I don't know, something hit me, because I always imagined myself, when I'm a 20-year-old woman, I would have accomplished this. I would have been this. I imagined myself to be a certain way. And as human, we're supposed to be progressing. We're supposed to be leveling up. In my case, I was stagnant. I was much more productive as a 16-year-old than as a 19-year-old. So I think that really hit, it did something to me. I had not imagined myself to be like that when I turned 20. So I think that was like, it needs to change. And I saw that as my second chance in life. God's given me this second chance, because I genuinely didn't know if I could see my 20th birthday. It's a bit emotional, but no, I genuinely didn't know if I could see my 20th birthday. So when that happened, I was like, I need to change my life. This is my second chance in life. And I did everything I could to completely restart. I was having multiple panic attacks a day, unable to do anything. So my meditation actually started from trying to calm down my anxiety and depression and things like that. So that's how the journey began. But it was not just like, let me start meditation. That was a complete, let me change my life around. Let me change me as a person, because I can either just stay here being stagnant and be sad. I have all these problems. Yes, these are going to consume it. It was consuming me, and it was a way for me to reclaim my power. And he talks about meditation, yoga, everything. So he was kind of like the person I looked up to.
Yeah, just quickly, because I've never met anyone who's seen Sadhguru before. Me and one friend has been watching his videos for a long time. It's insane how open and just. I remember he talked about this one idea where he was talking about living life closed or living life open. Yeah. And how you want to do that. Like that idea really resonated with me. What's some of those ideas specifically that resonated with you? That,
again, you're in control. You can't blame anyone else for your problem. You're sad, you can't blame it in someone else. Even though if they hurt you, you have the control how you deal with that. And I think that made me just rethink everything, because it's not like I was just playing the victim. I was the victim in a lot of situations. But then there comes a point where you have to take your power back. And that he inspired me. You know what? I don't have to let them make me upset anymore. You know, it's me. I can control my emotions. So it was that. I think that's what something stuck to me. Yeah.
And then from that, so you see Sadhguru, he gives you that understanding, that perspective. You still have to have the impetus within yourself to actually go away and do that.
Yeah.
What was that like when you started to actually I'm going to actually make change today, wake up that day and make that change?
I think it just happened, like I just said, when I had that realization, it was kind of everything. I started looking into more business stuff as well, right? Because second year I really wasn't focused on my studies. So it was kind of everything. I was like, let me focus on my studies, let me focus on spiritual stuff, let me focus on fitness. So it was the overall, let's turn my life around kind of thing. But I think the way I got into meditation, I think I listened to guided meditation or just meditative frequencies and stuff like that. I think that's what I started with. And then, yeah, I like to do silent meditation as well. But anytime even if I haven't meditated, let's say for like a week or something, and I feel it's getting a bit difficult for me to stay still, I go back to guided meditation. It helps me. So that's my favorite kind of meditation, is guided meditation. Someone else is kind of guiding me, but also it's up to me. I can pause it if I want to, and yeah.
Was it hard at the beginning to kind of stick to a consistent schedule for meditating?
Not at the start. So the thing about me is when I start something, I get very crazy about it at the start. So I think I was very like obsessed. I was like, I want all the benefits. I've heard about it. Like meditation is this thing that solves all your problems. So all I was thinking about was, I want to be like Sadhguru. I want to be like these calm people. Yeah.
I just levitate.
Yeah. Where is my spiritual awakening?
I'm still looking for mine. So after you do that, because from my experience, I'll just go. It says, thank you for that. That was actually really, really well put and really clear, and thank you for that. So yeah, I feel like from my experience, right, when I started doing that, after a while, I started really seeing the change within myself, within my mental state. It was more calmer. I was less emotional because I could pinpoint my emotions, and like you said, I realized that like when people elicit certain emotions out of me, it was me how I was reacting to them. So whatever situation it was, maybe it was anger, I'd put some emotion or some understanding about what they were doing, and I was angry about that. And so it really taught me, okay, cool, like really first check yourself in the sense of check how you're feeling, check what emotions you're going through, how is this person affecting you, and then if you need to react, you react. But sometimes I was like, oh, like it's just something I haven't dealt with in my past or like in my present that's really causing me to feel this way. Yeah. The question I have for you is, what was that like for you to start to realize the effect of meditation, how like the change started to happen within you? What did you think about it, and how was it like to embrace that change?
Okay, right. So the thing about meditation is I think there's a lot of benefits that came with it. So it's hard for me to kind of just say one thing. But I would say I think the main thing is I was very restless. I couldn't stay still. Always felt like I need to do something. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. I'm a waste of space. Yeah. So I think the main thing for me is I can physically stay still. That was one thing, because otherwise I'm just kind of pointlessly using my energy, wasting my energy when I don't need to by just kind of worrying and flapping about. So that was one thing, that I could stay still. The other thing, again, about just kind of being aware of yourself and the emotion that manifests in my body. So for me, I was going through a lot of intense emotions. So let's say you feel sad, right? Where do you feel it?
Is it my chest, in my mind? Sometimes both.
Right. So because all of the time, like our reality, we think like, you know, like when you're sad, you just feel like the world is grey and this and that. It's nothing's out there. It's all in here. Yeah. So it's for me to kind of, like being in, like just tuning in with my body. I'm feeling these sensations here. Let me now, I guess, try to replace that with new life force energy, with breath, or like I'm gonna feel that emotion with love and compassion for myself. So it was just more about like, just kind of really pinpointing those emotions and trying to replace it with a positive one. That's one thing. But I think the main thing is being able to stay still, not being reactive to everything. I was a very emotional person, very angry person, and a lot of people took advantage of that because they knew where the trigger is, right? How to push my buttons. So people did that. People tried it, and I fell for that. Now, no, not gonna happen. No one's gonna take my power away from me because so many people have done that before. So I think that's the main thing. People knew where to push the button, and
Going off that. When it comes to embracing the change, then, like when you were seeing yourself go from, like you were saying, someone whose button could be pushed, someone who was in control of themselves. Yeah. What was that like, and how did people react to you? How did you react to everyone else?
Oh, it was so hard because the first change happens like mentally, right? Your thought. So I've made up my mind that I want to be a calmer person. I want to be non-reactive. I made that. I made that up, but it's really hard to put it into practice, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm this new person. I'm gonna be calm. People are trying me. I feel the emotions. Yeah. Now this is the hardest part because I feel anger. It's easy for me to lash that onto someone else. I'm empty, done, right? Now you have to hold on to whatever that emotion is, whatever that energy is. You have to transmute it into something positive. But until it transmutes into something positive, you're stuck with that anger. You're stuck with that pain. So that was so hard. I was just like, oh, you don't know that I could do something, but I'm trying to be a better person. Like, you should be really thanking me for doing the inner work. I had a lot of internal dialogues, you know? Like, I just can't. I'm trying to be a better person, so I can't say this out loud. Yes. But internally, I am fighting not to react. And then after a while, yeah, it just becomes normal. Yeah. Like, you just don't react to it, and you're like, oh, whatever. Like, I think before, even though, like, you know, some people are like, oh, they're talking rubbish, they just don't care about it. I couldn't. It would bother me so much. But now it's like, yeah, okay, they're just not worth it, and I can just brush it off. Before, I couldn't do that.
So you talk about other people, like, still stuck in that kind of, you know, kind of affect you. You know, I say some people are kind of asleep, not conscious of their self, their emotions, and who they are. How did you react to that? Because I used to react very annoyingly to my friends who were still kind of asleep, in the sense that, like, they were like not in touch with their emotions and touch with who they are, so that would affect me in the negative way, like you're saying. And I was trying to fix myself. I was like, actually, yo.
Yeah.
You know, so I started becoming a little bit more annoyed with them because I felt like they weren't doing the work that I was doing.
Right. I think that happens to everyone at the start of their spiritual journey, because it's like you've just learn something that's helped you. So obviously you want to share that knowledge. You want them to go through the work so they can benefit as well. And it's not coming from like a bad place at all. You care about them. But then after a while, you know what? Everyone has their own journey, and it's not up to me. And I can say like, oh, I'm healed, or like I'm wise and stuff, but then there's someone else thinking, that's stupid. That was me 10 years ago. Someone else is in a different level, you know? Yeah. So everyone has their own trigger moments as well. Like, yeah, I'm not the person I was a year ago, but I just didn't change. Everyone has their trigger moments. So it's not up to me to tell someone, you should be doing this. I can put that out there, like, oh, this is good for you, but I can't force it on someone. It's their work, and some people will never do the work, and that's their life, and they miss out on the benefit. That's their consequences. It doesn't affect me. If they're directly doing something, let's say someone has anger issue and it's directly affecting me, then yeah, I need to put up my boundaries. I need to tell them stay away. But if they're just an angry person and they don't do anything about it, I'll just remove myself from their environment.
That's very interesting. You mentioned about putting up boundaries.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle with that. What advice would you give to people about putting up boundaries?
It's not selfish. Because if okay, there's a saying, if you tolerate sin, you're a sinner as well. So that's something I heard a lot. So let's say you're being mean to me, and if I'm just stay here taking that shit, I'm enabling it. I'm letting that happen, right?
Yes.
So I need to remove myself from the equation, and then there's no sin. Yeah. So that's how I see it. It's like, also, you need to love yourself. You wouldn't let, like, this happens all the time. Like, if there's my friend tells me something, and let's say someone treated them badly, I get so mad, and I'll tell them stop being friends with them immediately. But then in my case, I'm like, but the other person this, other person that, and what does that say? I clearly don't value myself as much. Why would you not put boundaries? Like, not just every person, I think they should really like treasure themselves. If you really thought you're the treasure, wouldn't you put it in a safe locker? Would you just leave it out there? No, for real. No. Because I think we have this, like, as a society, like, if everyone says, oh, Jeff is amazing, then everyone will believe Jeff is amazing. Like, it's like I don't know, like a following thing. Yeah, or if that person is underrated, overrated, who are you to say? Right? You can have your opinion. If people think they're amazing to them. I can't say they're overrated, maybe in my opinion. But it's just things like that. It's just like, you really have to put yourself first, and you have to. It's not selfish. It's you have to protect yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup.
You're spitting, like, that's crazy. Like, I'm having to, like, But no, 100%. I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that journey, at the beginning, making me realizing those points that you're talking about, you can't pour from an empty cup, so important, especially when it comes to like, when you're like, for example, for me, right, I grew up in a family where I was the oldest boy. So I'm like the breadwinner, this pressure on me, and I felt so much to give. But at some point I reached in my life, I was like, wait, I have nothing to give because I've been given so much. I need to be able to actually really withdraw, find myself within myself, so I can actually even help these people. You know, and that was like that was the beginning of when I started understanding, actually I have to learn to overcome certain emotions. I have to learn to maybe not overcome them, but understand them, you know. The question I wanted to ask you then, like, how do you, in this journey where you're going from where you are to where you are going, and that journey, I know, relating it back to one of the videos I saw, you talked about how to overcome fear, expectations, and those kind of worries and those kind of emotions. Talk to me about that. What was that like for you, overcoming those emotions and really kind of blossoming into who you really are?